Lilacs offer many medicinal benefits, including anti inflammatory properties, antioxidant, antiseptics, all the antis. And also, it's really good at promoting sleep and relaxation. Come and learn some more. Hey, everybody. It's Rachel with the Herbalist Garden. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. My disclaimer is I'm an herbalist, I'm not a doctor. Do your research. Super important. Can't stress that enough. Also, the information I gleaned a lot of my information, not every bit of it, from the websites in the description below. Please follow up through them if you want to know more. If you want to look through studies, because a lot of those websites have tons of studies. What I researched today and what I came up with did not have a lot of like research studies involved, but there were some in those websites. Go check it out. Um, yeah. How are you doing? We're gonna talk about lilacs today. We had a lilac one tree in our yard, and I bought another one, and it is growing. They take a long time to grow, but it is growing. It will flourish on somebody else's property now. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Lilac is Syringa vulgaris. It's in the olive family. I was kind of surprised about that one. I don't know everything going into researching these plants, so I am always finding at least one detail that I was like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Okay. But it's native to the Balkan Peninsula in southeastern Europe. People were immigrating from Europe to the US, and to kind of like bring a piece of home with them, they brought a lilac tree, bush, tree. I didn't quite see a significant difference there. It is I assume there is. That I didn't find out. And it's just really cool that they brought them over in the 1800s and that they were not native here. And I never knew that either. But now you find them everywhere. And hey, they're healthy. They're medicinal. Let's check it out. So cool. I mean, as I said, they're part of the olive family, and they have the woody structure and vibrant, fragrant blooms. They come first thing in spring. Well, second or third thing in spring, but they bloomed very little in my area this year and very short. It was a little discouraging because I was hoping to make some lilac lemonade, and that stuff's delicious. It just it just feels good. It's a feel good drink for a really hot afternoon in the summer. Okay, I'm babbling a little bit. I apologize. So, super important to know, always forage your plants, making sure you know that they have no pesticides on them, because that'll just negate the medicinal value of the plant if it's covered in pesticides. So lilac flowers are the main part. Well, you can use the leaves, but the flowers are harvested when more than 3/4 of the tree, shrub, bush have bloomed. You basically detach from the inflorescence axis and leave them to dry. Few days usually ish. And when they're dried, you store them in either paper bags or in jars. And like, you can break them apart if you want to, or you can just keep whole cones, if you will. Make sure there's lids. Make sure their paper bag's fine, but it's storing in a lidded jar is probably your better option. And their blossoms are not only edible, but also they smell wonderful. As we do know, they smell wonderful. They also are really good in salads. Um, can't eat too much, moderation. Also, you can, as I said already, we like lilac lemonade. And I just literally clipped it off and made sure there was no bugs in it, rinsed it off real good, and then just plopped it in some water with some lemons. And I did sweeten it slightly with honey, but it really, I don't need things sweetened. Sometimes I do. I mean, I'll have my fair share of ice cream. But it's it's just a lovely, refreshing flavor. So next spring, get you some lilacs. Get to drinking some lilac lemonade. So delicious, so delicious. Anyway, it's a delightful twist on your taste buds. Lilacs are used often in essential oils, and they contain essential oils. And that's what the part is that smells so good. There's terpenes in them. Terpenes play a role in the aroma and potential therapeutic properties. Kind of think cannabis, terpenes. It has to do with aroma therapeutics, stuff like that. Anthocyanins, they're responsible for vibrant color of the lilac flower and also their antioxidant benefits. You have flavonoids, they're also health benefits, alkaloids, um, with potential implications for medicinal property, tannins, that's the astringent properties of it, organic acids, sugars. It does actually have some natural sugars in the pollen for the pollinators. Phenolic compounds contributing to its overall chemical profile. It's got lignans and carotenoids, and those are antioxidant. And then cyanogenic glycosides. They those are the things that make it so everything has to be in moderation. They have demonstrated antifungal and antibacterial properties, which are useful in treating, minor skin issues, acne, wounds, cuts, rashes. They're beneficial for soothing severe skin irritations like sunburns and minor cooking burns. So you can create a poultice, you can create a powder. And those are things that you can keep on hand because if you can't keep a fresh flower on hand, right? But you can in an essence. Because if you create oils, you create salves. That is your medicinal properties being taken out of the lilac so that you can harness the magic all year long. Make yourselves oils, tinctures, salves. You can make syrups for ingestion. They can. We said teas. We said lemonades. There's a lot. We'll get into more. I'm excited about it. Sorry. I like lilacs a lot. It's actually difficult to harness the lilac scent because the very first time I ever tried, I I made an oil. Okay. And it smells good, but it's not like the flower itself. So I'm guessing you need a different carrier oil, maybe one that's less viscous. It's not as thick. No. Hmm. Sometimes I think I know what a word means and it doesn't. Anyways, whatever. We'll figure this out. I think I had that right. But anyways, flowers are edible, and some have some medicinal qualities. Eating a single flower raw is a an experience, but it's slightly bitter because that's where the astringent comes in, and that's drying to our tissue. So sometimes we need that, and sometimes we don't need that. The asympathetic and the sympathetic. Um, it's really good for a garnish. Um, you can put it on top of pastries. That that'd be cute. So, but historically, it's used as a tea or an infusion, and that, or in salves and stuff like that, is how it's we're going to harness the medicinal value. I did say that the essential oil that is harnessed from it is not something that sticks around very long. So my lilac oil does not really smell like lilac much anymore. It is just one of the scents in nature that doesn't hold very well. If you know how to do it, come over and talk to me. We'll figure it out. So it's also an periodic, antiperiodic. Basically means it prevents the recurrence of diseases such as malaria. Well, it's interesting. It's also a febrifuge, fever reducer. Lilac flowers have astringent, aromatic, and perhaps a little bitter qualities. That's the tannins in them. Astringents draw, tighten, and dry tissues such as the skin. So it's really good, would be a good for a cold or warm infusion to use as a toner on the face. And you can infuse it into witch hazel, and so it'll have both of those qualities to it, the witch hazel and the lilac. We'll get there. You can apply it to rashes, cuts, wounds, other skin ailments, acne. Um, the aromatic action can cause irritation to the GI tract. So, moderation can bring irritation to like blood flow. Blood flow equals healing. So, you just got to be careful. Moderation, test it on yourself, test it on a small little patch or something like that just to make sure. But it's super rare that anybody has an allergic reaction to it, unless you're allergic to olives, right? So, eating the flower raw may help with the gastric issues and like flatulence or constipation, but and making an herbal infused oil is a great way to capture those aromatics, but they won't last forever. If you know how to do it, let me know. It also is a cardiovascular tonic. It can streamline arterial blood flow and ensure the aorta receives the optimal blood volume. It's also recommended as a treatment for respiratory diseases and liver diseases. Historically, lilac was valued primarily as a febrifuge, fever reducer, and an anti-inflammatory agent, but its bitter properties led to its use as a digestive tonic. So, how is it a febrifuge? Well, the most documented traditional use of lilac, particularly its bark, was to help manage fevers. The febrifuge action is attributed to compounds like syrin- syringin. For instance, the traditional practitioners would prepare a decoction of the bark to induce sweating and help lower the body temperature during mild febrile illnesses. However, it is not a substitute for any others. It will help, it won't fix. Does that make sense? So, it won't take away your fever if your body needs the fever to heal. It will lower it some. It could even break the fever for a short amount of time. But if your body needs to burn off whatever's going on, it's going to get a fever. Sometimes things can have overreactions as well. So that is another whole concept that most people don't really get into, where like kind of like a nervous system regulation, it gets broken and doesn't remember how to work correctly because it's just been in trauma forever. So reprogramming, breaking that, herbs can help break that cycle too. It's There's so many aspects to medicinal herbal healing that I could never cover all of it. I really couldn't. It's really cool stuff though. It's really cool. It's really cool. Anyway, it's also an anti-inflammatory, and it has analgesic support. It has oleuropein and ligstroside, which have demonstrated anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties in laboratory studies. It also has traditionally been applied in tinctures or poultices to help soothe joint discomfort associated with rheumatism. Um, they're still doing more, but they do show that it has definitely used in managing minor aches and pains. The extracts may exhibit antimicrobial properties, potentially aiding in the fight against certain microbes. Duh. It is also like a bitter tonic, so it's for digestive support. The leaves and the bark of the plant have that distinctive bitter taste. In phytotherapy, bitter compounds are known to stimulate the production of saliva and digestive juices, which can aid digestion and improve appetite. Therefore, small doses of lilac infusion were sometimes used before meals to address sluggish digestion, though this can be counterproductive for individuals with excess stomach acid. So, know your body. So, like the main uses we're going to kind of cover here are rheumatic pain, joint pain, gout, bloating and gas, diabetes, insomnia, bad breath, stress, toothaches, wounds and concussions. So, there's more. These are the ones we're going to cover. I think they're the main ones. Yeah, there's technically more, but I'm just going to cover the main topics. You are required to do your own research before you consume anything. Be entertained. So, a decoction of lilac buds is recommended when harvesting in early spring before they open. Buds should be dried, ground, and stored in sealed jars. Pour 7 ounces of hot water over 2 tablespoons of lilac bud powder and have like a tablespoon of it 3 times a day. That will help your body regulate your blood sugar, the diabetes. I would say obviously if you're on any pharmaceuticals, you may not do this without supervision. It just says it'll help. It's not talking about a cure. So gout and rheumatoid arthritis, also the flowers will help soothe the pain related to it. Like 30 drops of a lilac flower tincture in 50 milliliters of water 3 times a day for 3 months. Or you can use it like as a rub, an oil salve, poultice. it boosts its effectiveness if you add rosemary oil to it. Also helps with like bone spurs and urea deposits in the joints. It is actually good for halitosis. Get rid of that bad breath with a lilac flower infusion or decoction after each meal and before bedtime. It'll help with insomnia. 3 cups of lilac flower infusion a day, sweetened with raw honey. You can add lavender flowers to it to make it even more potent. Um, it helps with stress, relaxing stress and inducing relaxation. You can do concentrated lilac flower infusion in your bathtub. The fragrance of the lilacs, it's got that, because it won't go away that fast. So it's got calming effects, and just it adds in all the nice little nutrients, the compounds and the essential oils with mixed and infused with the hot water. You just feel great. You just feel great. Um, it's antispasmodic too. Again, with the antis, right? So it will provide muscle relaxation, headache relief. It will support menstrual health, and it's anti-aging, cognitive function. It's got the antioxidants. We talked about them. Um, we talked about how it was anti-inflammatory. The flavonoids are the huge part about it being anti-inflammatory for this one, supporting overall well-being too. Supports immune function, skin health. It's got vitamin C in it as well. It is also really good for respiratory support. Um, Lilacs have been used in herbal medicine to support respiratory health. Their properties soothe discomfort and support lung function, and helps with conditions like colds and congestion. I'm going to put recipes so you can use the lilacs in. I know we're past season over here in East Coast US 7, or I'm 6B. But you can keep them for next year. Screenshots. Overdose risk. You can overdose on herbs, but not in the way you think. It's not like I can't drive. It's a gastrointestinal distress, nausea, vomiting. Don't overdo them. Don't just sit there and like eat a whole tree's worth of lilac. You can't do that. Moderation. So it simulates, because of the tannins and the astringent properties, it simulates gastric acid. So if you have too much, don't use it medicinally. Have a lavender lemonade. It's an infusion. It'll be mild and it'll taste delicious. But you don't need to be drinking a whole pitcher a day. I usually split one with my daughter, so 2 people for the pitcher, depending on your size of pitcher. Anybody with GERD, gastritis, peptic ulcers should avoid lilac preparations, as they exacerbate symptoms of like heartburn, stomach pain, and acid reflux, because of it aiding in digestive support and astringent properties. It's crucial to recognize who should not use lilac and what potential interactions exist. Hence, the description has all the links that I gleaned my information from, and there's also tons of interlinked things with those websites. You have a plethora of information on the internet. You can never say that you are under informed. do your due diligence. So people can have allergies to it, just like any other plants in the olive, ash, or jasmine family. Gastric conditions. So if you got those kind of things, it probably upset your stomach a bit. They haven't said anything about pregnancy and breastfeeding, but that's only if you're using it medicinally. Like if you're going to have lavender lemonade, lavender tea. Why am I saying lavender? Lilac lemonade or lilac tea or anything like that. As long as you're not like using it medicinally, you can still have it. Just have to really pay attention and moderation. Always. So potential drug interactions are like anti-diabetic medications, antihypertensive medications. If you're having any distress, stop if you need to. So if you're trying a fever management and you can't have lilac for some reason or another, you have options. You can do willow bark or you can do yarrow. If you're having joint pain and inflammation and you can't take lilac, you can take turmeric or boswellia. Boswellia? Yeah. It's an Indian frankincense. So those things are used in place of lilacs if you can't have them. There's always another herb you can have. That's why there are so many, because some people are allergic to this, and some people are allergic to that, and some people are allergic to this and that and the other. And when you're allergic to something and you still have a need, right? Well, this one will work just as well, but I'm not allergic to it. So let's try that one. There's always options. You do not have to settle on one. Again, the links are in the description below. Do your due diligence on your own for your own health and your own safety. Thank you very much for joining me today and learning with me. Started this whole journey over on a Facebook group, The Herbalist Garden. We have a huge community there. We're almost at 150K. I'm trying to think if I want to do any sort of like celebrations for big numbers. I haven't felt the need to just yet. Thinking about it. I would like to monetize this page, and I can't until I have the correct amount of views and likes. So please like and subscribe. Whining. Anyway, thank you so much for learning with me today. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Keep learning. Keep your research up. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.